Hello YouTube, and welcome to our war recap video number 1. And it's an exciting one for us because it's not just the first war recap video, but it's also the video of our first ever war. We're up against Knisterblister, who are a German clan that brought some good attacks. As you can see, we've had a couple of wars since then. It's a good war. We'll show what they did to our bases. They didn't hit our Town Hall 11, 2-starred our Town Hall 10s, and got a bunch of 2s and 3s on our Town Hall 9s and down. So a good show, kind of cost them a few on missing Town Hall 10. On our side, we 2-starred all their Town Hall 11s and 10s, a couple of 3-stars on their lower Town Hall 10s there, and a bunch of 3-stars and 1 or 2 2-stars left on the board at Town Hall 9 and below. So good effort from everybody. Let's check out a few attacks. And first up, we've got Jibout, or Jib as I'm going to call him, getting the CC lure with the giant there, pulling out a giant and a dragon in the CC. He drops an archer down at the bottom on that builder's hut. And then just this time here, when you're waiting for the dragon to come across the map, it's a great time to drop your earthquake spells because it doesn't cost you any time in the raid, because you're just waiting for the dragon anyway. So he drops down a couple of archers, a couple of wizards, and the Archer Queen's kind of interesting because the dragon locks onto his Archer Queen and does quite a bit of damage and forces him to use her ability. There's other ways of killing a dragon in the CC if you haven't got a poison spell that maybe we'll talk about in another video. Anyway, he drops his golem down, a bunch of wizards to create the funnel. The wall breaker's in, open up the wall. He drops his barbarian king, who takes out the opponent's barbarian king that's locked onto his golem, and then here come the valks, bunch of redheads. And because he hasn't dropped his earthquake spells yet, quite a lot of his valks end up going around the outside here. Ends up working out okay for him on this base because it kind of has an outer ring with lots of defenses, and he gets enough valks into the core to get the job done. But I suspect he wanted more of his valks to go in through the middle, and dropping the earthquakes a bit earlier can help with that. But we've got a couple of heal spells. I quite like heal spells for Town Hall 9 because you haven't got Infernos to worry about, and the heals, provided your valks behave themselves and you can see where they're going to go, really help keep your valks up and running at the end of the raid. A jump spell for the back end to help his valks get out. Now these are pretty low level walls, so that I had no trouble just bursting out, but it's good practice. And look, as you can see, he's got a bunch of valks left. There's 1 defense left and the king's just about to take it down, and that's pretty much this base done. So just clean up now, a few buildings left, no defenses. We'll speed this up a little bit because he's got an absolute bucket load of valks running around. The giant bomb there, valks kind of shrug those off, which is nice. If you're used to using hogs and you run across a giant bomb at the end, you're kind of always a bit worried, but not too much of a problem for valks. And they run around nice and fast, smash through walls, smash down the remaining buildings, and gets the 3-star. So great attack, Jib. Nicely done, sir. It wasn't his only video in this recap either, so we'll see him again a little bit later on. So next up we've got Dark Knight. I quite like this video because check out his army. He's bringing Go Wipe, and it's a 3-star on a fairly early Town Hall 9, but you know, those X-bows, one's maxed and one's level 2, and that puts out some serious damage. And there's a few level Town Hall 9 max defenses on the point defense side as well. So it brings in a couple of golems, bunch of wizards, build a funnel. It's a good skill to have so everything doesn't run around the outside. A few P.E.K.K.A.s, some wizards. He drops an early heal there, probably to keep all his troops up whilst the CC troops are going down. Not a bad practice, particularly if there's balloons and dragons, which can really be bad for your main kill squad. And a second heal spell here, which is quite sensible because all these P.E.K.K.A.s are up against Teslas, which do massive damage to P.E.K.K.A, so keeping them healed up while you're taking out the Teslas, not a bad idea. But he's got a P.E.K.K.A going around the outside from his CC. He's got a bunch of wizards on the outside helping with cleanup, and you get quite a few outside defenses on that, which is quite nice. His P.E.K.K.As are tanking nicely for his Archer Queen. He's still got golems in the middle tanking. He's got just dropped his last remaining heal spell there to keep those couple of wizards up. That's quite nice. It's all kind of, and everything's kind of merging around together, which is quite nice. His Archer Queen steps into this little compartment, and I think he thought she might get trapped, so he hit her ability there. But she could have got out again, and it might have been helpful to save that for a little bit later in the raid, but it doesn't stop him getting the 3-star here. Loses a couple of wizzies to a giant bomb there, but the P.E.K.K.A don't worry too much about that. And while we're just kind of worth reflecting on. The raid's been going a little while now, and it's still got another minute or so to go. And this tends to be the downfall for Go Wipe at Town Hall 9 is just you run out of time. Particularly on bases with high level walls. These are quite low level walls, but if you've got sort of lava walls or above, the Peckers just take so long bashing through all the walls that you run out of time. So here, when the Expo's targeting his Archqueen and takes it down, would have been a great time if he'd saved her ability to pop it. Because when you pop her ability, of course, all the defences retarget, and there were Peckers in range, and so they would have retargeted one of the Peckers, and his Archqueen would still be running around helping out. But doesn't matter, it gets the job done. Still got a couple of Peckers up, a couple of Wizzies running around, and it's just a matter of time. As I say, it's a little bit slow with Go Wipe when you're watching the replays here, but he's got a couple up still, and the moment that Archer Tower goes down, you just know what's going to happen. Just a matter of time. Smacks down the Wizard Tower, breaks out through this wall, and there's just one gold mine left, and that's not going to stand up much. Bang, done. Lovely attack, Dark. Lovely attack, mate. Well done. So moving right along, and we've got Jib again, second video of the war, and again another one of these bases. These guys quite like this outer ring. So there's the outside ring of trash buildings, kind of collectors and stuff like that, and then inside that there's a ring of defensive structures. And here he now decided to go with the earthquake spells before he gets started, which is nice. He's bringing 2 heals and a jump, which is obviously going to help him at the back end. A golem in the CC. If you've got level 4 golems, I think you probably get better value out of either bringing max hogs or max valks in your CC. The difference between a level 4 and a level 5 golem is not that much. It's like 300 hit points. Whereas level 5, like max valks and max hogs, are a big step up from what you can get at Town Hall 9. So look, again, a bunch of his valks are running around the outside. That's actually quite good on this base because there's a lot of defences on the outside, so it kind of helps him clear the base. And his heroes, Wizzies, and enough valks gone through the centre to core that out as well. And there's not much left of this base, you can see already. So pops the Lava Hound, but his Archqueen's up, so she's taking all the pops out. That isn't a problem. Still got an Expo up though, and that's going to cause him a few troubles. Valk's running around the outside, so pretty much most of the base is done now, but the Expo is slowly working its way through things, and his Archqueen's locked on the Town Hall while the Expo is locked onto his Archqueen, and that's going to cause him a few troubles because she's going to go down and leave the Expo standing. Got a good bunch of Valks at the top there running around with the King, but there's a couple of pups chasing them, and if he didn't have this wizard on the left hand side of his screen to take them out, that could cause him some problems, but he's got quite a few Valks, and those pups don't do too much damage. And actually, this wizard just, job done. Moving right along. Valks trashing around, and you can't quite see it on the screen here, but there is another builder's hut in the corner at the top, so his Valks are getting nice and fit and running around yet again. So, there's quite a little speed up here. Let's watch the Valks go for a bit of a jog and then run back in towards that Expo. So quite interesting, they took slightly different paths here. Again, that actually works out quite nicely for him because there's 2 compartments anyway, and the Expo locked onto the bunch that were trying to get onto the air defense. He's got enough to get the job done by a country mile. Boom, 3 stars. 6-star war for you this war, on our first war ever, so well done, Jib. Fantastic, mate. Let's move right along. JJ, bring the Valks on number 18, and a couple of P.E.K.K.A, which is quite an interesting combination as well. So look, kicks things off with the earthquake, opens the base up very nicely. You can get a whole bunch in there, access to most of the base from that earthquake spell, and also access into the base itself. So that's quite a nice little combo. Enough Wizzies to form a funnel for his troops, and he's nice and patient here before he drops his main force, which is great. Nothing quite like waiting until the funnels form before you drop your main force. In come the Valks, and here we go. So Lava Hound in the CC, his Wizzies and Archqueen will take care of that. It's quite interesting what happens here, because if we have a look, there's a whole pile of Valks run around the outside to kill the Archqueen, and they get to there and then they start running back again, and what they're doing is they're going back because they've seen the Barbarian King, so they run around and take him out. And that's, you know, not too much of a problem at Town Hall 9, but if on a Town Hall 10 base, that kind of design where your valks go one way and then run all the way back around can cause you all sorts of troubles if they're kind of set under an inferno. But not a problem from here. He's got loads of troops up, his arch queen's up, his king's up at the top, just getting healed. He's got Peckers up there, he's got a bunch of wizards. His queen's down the bottom, she popped her ability there. She's taking out defences left, right and centre. It's a really good spot for her to be. Pops out, he's going to go down here, but he's got a bunch of troops left. And now we're down kind of back to Go Wipe City again, where we've got Peckers, his king and 3 wizards. And you can see there's still a minute 25 to go. We'll speed up a little bit here because as we saw with Dark Knight's attack, Go Wipe's kind of a bit slow, particularly on the cleanup. His king goes down, slowing things up a little bit more, but he's still got this Pecker that's doing very nicely, and his wizards are doing a great job just taking out those final few defences that are behind the wall. And if I remember this raid correctly, this like literally went down to the wire. The last building went down just as the timer hit 0 seconds. So there was a bit of screaming in the clan as we're all watching this replay, as we're watching the attack live. It's like, come on. But he gets there, which is great. So 3, 2, 1, boom. And that was literally the 3-minute time up just as that swing went down. So great job, JJ. Very exciting raid. Love to see it. Next up, we've got Mighty Banger, and guess what? It's bringing the Valks. They're popular at the moment, but look, not all the attacks from the clan are Valks. We've got some Goho, hardcore Gohos, and a few Laloon people as well, so it won't just be Valks that you get to see on the channel, trust us. But it's pretty Valk heavy in this first raid. So it gets the CC lure. Didn't quite get all the CC, I don't think, but you can see there's a balloon and a wizard. Decides to go ahead, drop his golem and just start the raid anyway. He's got giants coming in. Drops the poison down, which is good call. Reduce the damage from those balloons because they can actually put out quite a lot of damage onto your golems, which can hurt a lot. But gets the job done, takes it down, comes in, clearing out this initial row of buildings, which is nice, and then he just drops his Valks. If you've cleared a wide enough funnel, you don't need wall breakers, and the Valks just tear through walls anyway, so that's not a problem. It is a dragon in the CC, which probably isn't what he wanted to see, but it doesn't seem to matter. His wizards take that out under rage, drops a couple of rages and a heal. It's all a bit of a blur when it's Valks in the centre. Valks under rage, just bases just evaporate. But on the flip side of it though is it's quite hard to see what's going on. So in terms of steering your troops, it's a bit of a blur. One of the guys in the chat said, "How do you see what's going on in the middle of the raid?" And I did have to say, actually, I watched the replay of the attack afterwards to see what actually happened, because at the time it's just like Valks in, hit rage, hit heal, hit jump, and it's just see what happens. I guess as we all get a bit more used to it and the pace that their attacks go at, we might start to see it in a bit more detail. But they can, particularly under raids, they're just crazy beasts. But his queen here is taking out the last couple of defences with the help of the Valks, and there's just a couple of buildings left at the other side, and he's got more than enough troops to get the job done. So, boom. Oh, there's an army camp as well. Now he's got the job done. 3 stars, lovely. And again, look, 15, 16 heroes. These aren't maxed heroes, but the bases that you're seeing are, high-level defences. And here's a base with fully maxed defences. Jenny coming, PJ as we call her, coming in with, again, a few Valks, but some hogs for the back end as well. So a couple of golems, again, wizards, build the funnel. Nice that she's bunched a couple of wizards up there on the storage, which has quite a few hit points, so that's going to get the funnel built a little bit quicker, and is also going to save his golems a bit of health. Drops the jump spell, which is nice. Gets in there, and in come the Valks. That jump spell is giving her access to several compartments all at once. The raid spell just makes sure everyone gets in there pronto. The Valks have been drawn towards the queen. She's down. Next stop will be the king. There's a bunch. It's actually a very similar design to the raid we saw earlier. So. And with pretty similar results. So there's heroes going down the bottom. She's dropped the hogs in at the left hand side there. Well, lost a couple to a spring trap there. But look, they're taking out defences as they go along, which is nice. and they're point defenses too, so they're worth their weight in gold in terms of later in the raid. King and Queen still on good health. She hasn't used her Queen's ability yet, so she's got loads and loads and loads up her sleeve if she needs it. Oh, last Hoggy goes jumping, but it's okay because there's not much left on the base. There's what, two defenses realistically. That mortar's not really going to be a problem. Little Golemite there doing enough tanking for the wizards, which is helpful. Wizards help clearing up the trash buildings at the top as well, which is great. And it's just a matter of time here as the heroes come along and get the job done. Is she going to pop the Queen's ability? Yeah, just at the end. Boom, 3 stars. Lovely attack, PJ. And Mighty Banger again. Bangers twice in the video as well. Again, bringing the Valks. Again, no, this is high level Town Hall 9 base at 15-16 heroes. So this update with the changes to the Valks kind of really opened up Town Hall 9 for those people who like war and really aim for the 3 stars, but don't necessarily have 30 heroes, which is great to see. So it's kind of leveled the playing field a little bit and kept things kind of interesting. Brings in the jump here, gets a nice funnel. The Valks raging through the core, doing what Valks love to do. Rage. His heroes following in behind, which is nice. He's got a couple of Valks on the outside. That's probably not bad. It's not a bad way of clearing out the outside. Maybe they just went for a bit of a wander, but it's also, you know, I've seen people use Valks to form the funnel, so you can mix and match any which way. So he's got a bunch of Valks at the bottom. There are quite a few pups, lava pups chasing those, so that could be a bit of an issue for him, but his Archer Queen's still up. His King's just gone down. Not that's too much of a problem for him here. His Queen's getting a bit low on health, but the cannon's now down. She is going to come and happily meet up with the Valks and help take out those pups, which is great. You know, he had a wizard and an archer to help with the clean up there anyway. So Arch Queen, we've got the Valks running around the outside, which is where most of the trash buildings are. The Queen, and there's a wizard on the inside where most of the defences are. Nice little combo. All the Valks are tanking all the damage from the point defense for his Queen, who's not getting hit at all, so she can just sneak behind, take out all the defenses, and pretty much trash the base. Pops the Queen's ability just to help out and get to that last archer tower there. The Valks dash in, help get the job done, and now there's just like 2-3 buildings left. That won't be too much of a problem for what's left. Queen comes along. Oh, there's an extra building. Oh, the mortar at the top. So there's one extra building. Everyone's going to have to run around, but that shouldn't be. Oh, archers go down, but not going to be an issue. Queen's got the job done. And there we go, 3-star, lovely attack, Mighty Banger. Moving up, a couple of Town Hall 10 3 stars. Again, Govaho, is yours truly coming in just with a minion on that cannon. So it's worth scouting the base to see whether someone's left a cannon or a mortar exposed, because, you know, like one minion is 2 camp space and you take out a defense, which is quite nice. So just one golem here, a few whizzes to build the tunnel, and it's not a particularly high level Town Hall 10, and it's not a particularly great base layout, but it's, you know, there's still plenty that can go wrong at Town Hall 10. With those infernos. So form a tunnel, drop a bunch of Valks, and this is just where it goes crazy. So jump spell, poison down, rage spell, freeze spell, second rage spell in the center. There's a heal there. Keep the Valks up and running. Rage at the back end, which is kind of quite interesting. That helps your Valks break out again. And look, the core of the base has just been absolutely gutted, dropping a few hogs in on the left hand side here just to help with those point defense. But as you can, catches a giant bomb. As you can see, there's not much left on the base defense wise. There's, you know, an archer tower and a cannon, and those max level hogs are going to be able to get the job done on both of those, and then there's just going to be a little bit of cleanup to do. So Archqueens on one side clearing up, and there's enough valks to run around on the other side. So just a matter of speeding up a little bit while we watch the valks get their usual exercise, cleaning up buying air defense on the one remaining minion, and the queen comes down and gets the job done. Lucky war for me this war as well. Number 7 again. Kind of interesting base layout. I was torn between coming in from the top or the bottom. Eventually decided to come in from the bottom with the valks where the base is open and bring more hogs than I usually do this time, because there's a lot of defenses in a grid layout where there's no possibility of giant bombs or spring traps, so that's good for hogs. So early heal spell, because there's always, and 2 early rage spells, because there's always going to be giant bombs in there, and you want to get them through and into the infernos as quickly as possible with all those storages down there, so the rages just help make that happen. The valks on the right hand side break out of the base rather than go into the inferno section, which isn't particularly great. And then here come the hogs, just bringing up on the left hand side, helping clear out the remaining defenses. Nice spread on the jump spells, so the valk, had they stayed in the base, could have got to lots of different places, but as it turned out they decided to go the scenic route. Archer Queen, however, did take the jump spell into the middle, and that's just helping. She's actually behaving herself here. Normally she would have jumped over that wall, and in my raid she would have targeted the air defense, but in this occasion she actually targeted the point defense first, which was handy. She must have been having an off day. Queen's coming through, and there's only one defense left, and there's loads and loads and loads of troops left, so that's going to go down shortly, and then it's just clean up. So we'll hit the fast forward button a little bit here as everyone converges, and boom. Would have been nice if I'd used my poison spells, but can't have everything. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed.